book of Genesis is traditionally attributed to Moses, written during the early formation of Israel's identity as a nation. Genesis recounts the origin of humanity, the relationship between God and his people, and the covenant promises made to the patriarchs. In our lesson, Abram and Lot have left Ur of the Chaldeans and settled temporarily in the land of Canaan. Their relationship has become strained due to the success they both have experienced. The land cannot sustain both of their herds, and conflicts arise between their herdsmen. This story in our lesson reflects the human tendency towards conflict when resources are limited, even among those who share history and familial bonds. Abram opens our lesson with words to Lot that reveal his desire to maintain peace despite the escalating tensions. The emotional impact here is significant. Abram recognizes that discord between their herdsmen may soon affect their personal relationship. His plea is for peace. It reflects a deep concern for family unity and respect. This is an attempt to de-escalate potential conflict through negotiation rather than confrontation. Abram's approach embodies wisdom and humility, opting for dialogue rather than force. Let's look at the dynamic here. Abram offers Lot the first choice of land, demonstrating his graciousness and faith in God's provision. He is willing to put aside his own interests for the sake of peace. This action reveals Abram's spiritual maturity and trust in God. He does not claim the best resources, but instead allows Lot to choose. This is a remarkable example of selflessness, a stark contrast to the materialism and self-interest that often characterizes human behavior then and now. Lot's decision to choose the well-watered Jordan Valley reflects his focus on immediate material gain. The valley appears like, quote, the garden of the Lord, end quote, symbolizing abundance and prosperity. However, this choice also reveals Lot's short-sightedness. He does not consider the spiritual consequences of moving closer to the sinful city of Sodom. Here, the emotional impact is one of temptation and the lure of prosperity, even at the cost of potential moral and spiritual compromise. Lot's choice represents the human tendency to prioritize material success over spiritual well-being. Abram settles in the land of Canaan while Lot moves towards Sodom. This physical separation is symbolic of their spiritual divergence also. Abram remains faithful to God's promise while Lot moves closer to a place associated with moral decay. Abram's faith sustains him. While he chooses a barren land, it is a land of promise. Lot, on the other hand, is blinded by the allure of prosperity. After Lot departs, God reaffirms his promise to Abram, commanding him to look around at the land that will belong to his descendants. This moment is significant for Abram's emotional and spiritual health. The reassurance from God strengthens his faith and alleviates any doubt about his future. In response to God's promise, Abram builds an altar, signifying his commitment to faith and worship. This act demonstrates the centrality of worship to Abram's life despite the uncertainty of his present circumstances. For modern Christians, the story of Abram and Lot offers several lessons. First, it teaches us about the importance of graciousness and humility in resolving conflicts. Abram's willingness to let Lot choose first, even at a potential disadvantage to himself, demonstrates a trust in God's provision that transcends immediate concerns about fairness and gain. Sometimes we want to argue and win the conflict when we should prioritize peace over our personal advantage by trusting in God. Lot's choice reminds us of the danger of being swayed by material prosperity. While the Jordan Valley looked promising, it came at a high hidden cost of spiritual and moral compromise. As Christians, we are called to consider not only the material benefits of our decisions, but also their spiritual implications. Faith requires us to prioritize choices to honor God over any other matters. And finally, when we face the uncertainty that is shown here, we must seek, like Abram, to meditate and commune with God, trusting in his promise. That's the lesson for this week. Have a great week.